G'day everyone, it's Justin and
Scott.
Two dads again from BRRRRRM Australia. And today we're coming to you from a 2022 Hyundai Palisade SUV. Have I pronounced that right?
I was saying Palisade, but
okay.
Yes, maybe.
Well mate, I thought today we'd try out Hyundai's luxury SUV flagship, the Palisade. And mate, it's not small, is it?
No, it's got a very large presence from the outside. It feels like one of those big American SUVs, gangster-like almost. Yeah.
Especially the grille, isn't it?
Oh, the grille, yeah, it's a huge icon grille on this.
Did you feel a bit presidential this week?
Yeah, a little bit gangster, a little bit presidential. You can have the little flags out the front of this. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Well, mate, look, as a bit of background, in Australia, the Palisade is Hyundai's supersized SUV, and it's available with 7 or 8 seats. It's available in front-wheel drive with a 3.8 litre petrol V6, which puts out 217 kilowatts at 6,000 RPM and 355 Newton meters at 5,200 RPM. And in all-wheel drive, it's available with a 2.2 4-cylinder turbo diesel, and that puts out 147 kilowatts at 3,800 RPM and 440 Newton meters at 1750 to 2750 RPM. So that's pretty low. And both of these come with an 8-speed automatic. It was launched in Australia back in December 2020, and it just received a bit of a comprehensive upgrade in August this year. And as mentioned, it's available in 7-seat or 8-seat versions. The 7-seat version is 2x2x3, and the 8-seat version, like we're in today, is 2x3x3. It's available in 2 trim levels: the Elite, which has a list price of $65,900 for the petrol version, and the diesel all-wheel drive version of the Elite is an extra $4,000. And the Highlander model that we're in today, top of the range, it's got a list price of $75,900, and with the diesel version, that's an extra $4,000 too. Okay. Well, mate. Anyway, you've had the Palisade for a bit this week. Plus, you've also had to do probably the ultimate dad trip too, haven't you?
Yeah. Talk about family-friendly test. I think I've done it this weekend. Yeah.
So, mate, tell us about your impressions. Give us your impression.
Yeah. So we touched on the size of it. When you walk up to this car, you know, I was lugging 4 15-year-old girls around for a lot of the weekend, plus a couple of adults.
That would have been fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you know, it was going to be a big task. So this car, I thought, absolutely perfect opportunity to give it the proper test, and it has done it admirably over the last few days. So that was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everything from being access in and out of the back seats, that was really important for so many people. You know, we really tested it. They were really comfortable in there, so I'll give kudos to the girls. They gave me a bit of feedback, and I mean, they are in and out of a lot of different people's cars all the time. And they thought it was terrific. I think, you know, the rear air vents and those sorts of things in the back, they really appreciated them. We had a really hot weekend, so they worked a real treat. And just usability of the car, all the safety features. It's quite chatty. You'll hear it today in the video, probably going bing bong, bing bong.
Did the introduction there, you could hear it chatting away, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, yep. But the good thing is that you can easily change all the settings on that very easily in the menu, and to set it to what you want and maybe to the type of drive you're doing that particular time. So we've got it on standard mode at the moment, but yeah, you'll still hear it a fair bit in the background. Yep.
Well, mate, what's the performance, ride, and handling like in this thing? I mean, the one we're in today is the V6. I mean, I kind of felt it was pretty smooth, but around the city when I had it, it chews a bit of fuel, doesn't it? So it goes all right.
Yeah, so I did mostly freeway driving over the last few days, and it was, I've got to say, so quiet. I couldn't hear anything, any noise from outside. So it has a very luxury feel about it because of that quietness. Handling on the road at higher speeds as well as around the city, I found both being terrific, really good. The only thing I'd say, just brakes. You know, it is a big and a heavy car. So, you know, I think you just have to be prepared to make sure you're braking a little earlier with this car because there's a lot to pull up.
Did the performance struggle with the weight? Like you had a full load in the car, was all right?
No, it was fine. Yeah, no, actually, in terms of acceleration, power, everything, this car seems to be perfectly matched to the size of it. I thought it did a really, really good job. But you touched on fuel consumption, right? So that 100% freeway driving in eco mode, I was getting about 13.9 litres per 100 Ks.
Okay, well the combined fuel consumption of the petrol is meant to be about 10.7 litres per 100 Ks, but I saw like 19, 20 just driving around town.
Yeah.
So it's definitely more at home on the freeway then.
Yep.
Yep. The diesel, just as a comparison, that's got a combined fuel consumption of 7.3 litres per 100 Ks. So maybe if you're doing a fair bit of driving, maybe the diesel might be a bit better way to go.
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
So.
Yep.
Mate, the ride of the car, I think, is actually not too bad because it's running 20-inch wheels. They're 245, 50, 20s, and you get a full-size spare as well, which you like. But yeah, the suspension, I think, it's soft, but it's okay, isn't it? So,
for the size of the car, I think they've done a really good job to negate some of the challenges they would have had with this. So yes, I think it goes over the bumps really well, and as I said, handles the higher speed stuff really well. Not too much body roll really for the size of the car. It's always going to have some because of the size of it, but the steering is really direct and easy to steer. You don't even really think about it, to be honest. So they've got that set up as well.
Is it? I wouldn't kind of say it's fun to drive though, is it? It's not that kind of car, is it? It's more. It gives a luxury sort of feel to it, doesn't it?
It definitely has got a luxury limousine almost like feel to this car. I mean, you do have the drive modes, so we should probably just note those. And there is a sporty one, and it does give you a fair bit more oomph at that point. But that's really the only sort of sporty sort of element, I would say. Yeah.
All right, mate. Having a chat about family friendliness, practicality, safety. Mate, what's your opinion of the driving position? There's a couple of cool features in this car, though. But you go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, firstly, I'll just touch on visibility. It's really, really good. I think you can see all around. All the reversing cameras you've got forward, reversing. When you're trying to park this thing, as it is a bigger car, there's so many aids, and it made it really easy for me to park this thing. No problems at all.
It's got a 360-degree camera,
and they're good quality cameras.
So, yeah. But what did you think about the mirror? It's actually a digital center mirror, which is supposed to give you an unobstructed cabin view because it has a camera at the back. So when you look in the mirror, all you can see is out the back, not the passengers in the car. So that's pretty good.
I think that's really good, and I think if you add to that just the boot space when you've got the third row of seats up, like any car, when you've got the third row up, you've always got less boot space, so you don't have that much. And what sort of tended to happen with lots of people in is you're building it up behind the rear window. So that's a great feature, right? That helps negate that challenge.
What did you think about seat comfort? I mean, you took it for a bit of a longer trip. It's got electric Napa leather seats with memory and lots of adjustment. They're also heated and ventilated in the front and the rear outboard ones. And the second row seats actually have aircraft style sort of wing out headrests, like when you're traveling on the plane, you can
put them across and you can sleep while you're sort of sitting up. Yes. Yep.
So comfortable.
Oh, super comfortable. Kids really love the ventilated seats in the second row. That was a bit of a surprise. I don't think they'd had that in any other car that they'd been in. And in front, you're super comfortable. Air conditioning did a great job. Seats, I used a lot of the supports actually on the way back yesterday along the freeway. Lumbar support's really strong in the back of your neck, right in the centre of your back. So really impressed by all the configurations of the seats.
What's your opinion on the interior styling, ergonomics, mate? It's got a 12.3-inch navigation touchscreen plus a 12.3-inch dash, which is electronic as well with a head-up display. How does it feel? I mean, it's got a bit of a different sort of console here. Yeah,
well, firstly, you've got heaps of bin space here, and beside you. So I had a lot of stuff stashed there during the week. It's great, nice thing to close it, so no prying eyes can see it when you park the car. That's terrific. I think it all feels quite luxurious in here, right? So the finishes are really nice. And there's nothing in here that's divisive or people will go, I don't really like that. Everything just really suits it. It's Yeah, I'd give it 10 out of 10 in terms of just comfort, accessibility to all the dials.
I think it's very smart too. Like you've got that stripy thing on the dash here. Plus, it's one of those cabins that actually has buttons still, which is really good too. So that's good too. I like that.
100% agree.
Mate, infotainment system. Like, what are your thoughts on infotainment? I mean, it's got a 12-speaker Infinity sound system, which I thought was pretty good. But the other interesting thing is it's Hyundai's first car with Blue Link telematics. So that's on your phone, where you can actually do send a car for a destination, or find the location of your car where you parked it, set up remote control things in your car like heating and stuff like that before you get in it.
Yep.
That's pretty good tech in it, isn't it? So.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to see Hyundai coming to the party with that, with the mobile phone connected software. I personally use that on my personal car all the time, right? I absolutely love it. I don't know how, when I'll be looking for a new car, it'd be really hard to buy one that didn't have that tech in it. So great to see they've got that. It's sort of very handy sometimes for unlocking the doors remotely when the kids want to get to the car and you don't want to give them the keys they could lose at the beach or something like that. You can just unlock the car remotely and then lock it again when they're done, maybe grabbing out the swimmers or something. In terms of the infotainment in the car, I think the stereo was terrific. I just found, you mentioned it, all the knobs and all those sorts of things, mate. Just getting around, navigating all the things I tried to use in this car, so much simpler, right? Sometimes I use a touchscreen, but many times you're driving at speed, a knob and stuff is just so much easier to use. You're not taking your eyes off the road.
Mate, okay, you sat in the back. How was it? I mean, the doors open pretty wide, don't they? So.
Second row was a cinch to get in, really. Yes, the second row, the doors at the back almost open 90 degrees, right? So it's really easy to get in and out. There's heaps of space. I had a lot of head space and a lot of arm space, actually, because they're sort of carved into the doors. There's a little bit of extra space when you're sitting back there. That second row is super comfortable for children or adults easily. Well, to get to the third row of seats, it was a little bit of a challenge for me at 6 foot, but I've got to say the kids just got in and out all day. No problems at all, no complaints. They were in really quickly. They were belted up quickly. We're talking about 15-year-old girls. They're not small things anymore. I think it does a really good job of getting people in and out of that third, more occasional use row.
The only thing I'd probably have to say, that middle section in that third row, that's pretty tight though, isn't it?
That's the 8th seat in some ways, is it? That middle seat.
The middle seat.
Yes, you would want that only for short distances. So absolutely. Yep.
How do the kids find the vents in the car? Like the vents are mainly hitched up in the roof of this car, aren't they? So rather than sort of on the side or sort of middle level, aren't they? So.
All I can say, it was 30 odd degrees Celsius yesterday. They were in it for a long time, and I got more complaints that they were cold than they were warm.
Right. Okay.
So like getting too hot. So obviously did a great job in the real life use. They did a great job.
Did you use the third row intercom thing that this car's got?
No, I didn't. I didn't get to use that. How does that work?
Yeah, it's in the infotainment system. You can actually just press a button and use the speakers to talk to the people in the third row, and they can talk back to you apparently.
They were 15-year-old girls. I could hear everything they were saying from the back, so there was no problems with that, Justin.
Okay, all right. Mate, how was the boot? Like you had to cart some luggage up, didn't you? So.
And I think we say this to any sort of car that's got the third row of seats in the back. Some of them have very little space at all to fit things. This one was at least at the point where you can put a good sized bag down and then you start stacking stuff. And then what we did in the end is you start loading some stuff from inside. Okay. And you have to unload that first before you open the door at the back, right? And that's if you're really packed up like we were on the weekend. Quite a few bags. Every day I think it would be fine. It would fit 2 or 3 school bags, no problems.
And even if you don't want to use that third row, putting it down, geez, you've got some space in the back now.
Yeah, that's right. And that is great, by the way. Putting the seats down and up and everything was a breeze.
Yeah.
It was really easy.
It's pretty easy?
Yeah, it's really
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Mate, I'll just touch a bit on safety. Probably just have to say straight up that it's pretty overwhelming with the safety in this car. It likes to bing and bong, doesn't it? So
it's a lot of T intersections. If you go 1 kilometre over the speed limit, it's binging. Yeah, absolutely. Collision alerts and everything, so that you know the system's all working.
Yeah.
It's just, you may decide it's a little bit chatty out of the box.
Yeah, it's got Hyundai's Smart Sense safety assist sort of stuff. I mean, I'm going to say the word assist a few times in this one, I think. So 7 airbags, including a front centre airbag in the car. Autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian, cyclist, vehicle detection and junction turning assist. It's got that. Blind spot view monitoring in the dash in the Highlander. So that's pretty good too when you indicate, isn't it? The camera comes up.
Absolutely, you get that side. If you've got the right blinker on, you get to see the right side of the car with the camera.
Yep. It's got blind spot collision avoidance assist in the rear as well. Lane following assist, lane keep assist, lots of assist. Surround view monitor as well, like when you're parking it. That's really cool. Rear cross traffic and parking collision avoidance assist. This is an interesting feature too. Reverse light guides for safety on the Highlander. So what it does, it projects sort of a light pattern down on the ground when you reverse. So it's designed to sort of warn people walking up to the car that you're about to reverse, instead of just two lights shining out. You can actually see it on the ground as well. So that's not a bad idea. It's also got leading vehicle departure alert. I think that's really cool. Have you noticed that? So if you're yelling at the kids in the back, the car in front's moved off, it'll tell you car's moved off.
Just a subtle little message that says, "Yep, car's moved off. Do you want to,
Yeah, hurry up and go."
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's also got the intelligent speed limit assist. So that's the thing that I think's doing all the bing and bogging at the moment. So yeah, I don't think that's so great.
But some people might like that, right? Especially in a high speed camera zone or something.
Yeah,
maybe it's a good reminder, right?
It's going to save your license.
Absolutely.
It loves to tell you about it, doesn't it? Well, did it then? There you go. All right, mate. Value for money. Okay. Do you reckon it's pretty good value for money? It does feel luxury to me. Like, it's got heated steering wheels, seats, ventilated seats, the panoramic roof as well. It's got
super impressed with that.
Yeah. And I was thinking, like, in terms of the main competitors for this car, like being an 8-seat sort of big thing like this, I mean, the Kia Carnival, that springs to mind. Different body shape, I know, but sort of does the same job, doesn't it?
Well, actually, yesterday I pulled up right next to a Carnival, so I pulled up behind it and got out and had a look at the shapes, and they're not actually that much different. Like, one's, obviously the Carnival's a bit lower in the roof. This sits up a bit higher. But they have the same proportions. So I think it's a really good comparison you make. Yeah.
And the other one I was thinking, maybe the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. That's the new one, the long wheelbase Jeep Grand Cherokee.
That's got the third row of seats in it. Yes.
But mate, that's a lot more expensive than one of these, I suppose. So the Carnival's a bit cheaper. This is more expensive. So, yeah. Value for money? What do you think?
I think the list of safety, the list of tech, the specs on this car, it goes pages, right? Like, it's got everything, and I 100% agree with you. This feels luxury, limousine type luxury as soon as you sit in it and when you drive it. So you think you've got a luxury car with all those specs. I think it's actually very good value for money.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yep. Just in terms of servicing and after sales and stuff like that, the warranty on the car, it's got Hyundai's 5-year unlimited K warranty on it. Servicing is every 12 months or 15,000 Ks, which is good, so that's all right. But servicing costs, this is all right. For the petrol car, like we're in today, 5 years, 75,000 Ks, $1,995, so under $2,000 to service it for 5 years. So that's pretty good.
Very.
The diesel, a little bit more expensive. 5 years, 75,000 Ks, $2,445. So either way, I think for the size of the car and that's pretty good. All right, mate. X Factor. That's our usual question where we sort of ask, is this the kind of car that, when you're driving past a shop window or something, you're going to look at it, or, when you park it, you're going to look back at it. What do you think?
Well, I don't give many SUVs the X Factor.
Yeah, that's,
you
that's
do
your,
know that,
that's
right?
your tagline,
I do
isn't it?
say
You can't make an SUV look good. Yeah.
Well, this one's probably going to break the mold a little bit.
Okay.
It definitely has huge presence as you drive, walk back to it, right? Like, and we talked about the grille. A lot of it's that, but even just the whole size of the car and everything. You know, you walk back, you know it's your car, you walk straight up to it and own it. It's pretty impressive, yeah. So it does have X Factor.
Kind of like a gangster's paradise.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, just want to put a big thanks out to our friends at Hyundai Australia again this week for the loan of the Palisade. I think, yeah, if you need something big and you need, you know, 7 or 8 seats with a bit of luxury, put it on your shopping list, definitely, isn't it?
Yep, the kids will love this one, right? Like, they'll be so happy in this. They're going to have all the space and air and everything they need out the back. This is a terrific family car.
Yeah, apart from the binging and the bonging.
Yes.
That's all right. So. And anyway, just want to put a big thanks out to everybody for watching and all the likes, the subscriptions, the shares. So, yeah, please continue to do that for us. And if you want some more videos, we've got plenty more to come, haven't we, mate?
We certainly do.
All
Thanks
right.
so much.
See you later.
See you guys.